All right, sounds good.
Good.
Even get a pop-up now, wow. All right, so this is the June 21st, 2021 Board of Public Works meeting. We'll call the meeting open at this time. We'll call it 1600, 4 o'clock on the dot. And before we get going, I'll ask if anyone is recording the meeting besides the Zoom meeting here. during this
No,
meeting.
I don't see any, Bill.
Okay. Very well. So with that out of the way, we'll get right into it, and we'll review and approve the minutes of the meeting held from March 30th, 2021. So I'll open it up for any comments or discussion.
I'll set with it.
Good.
That was a vote. I couldn't hear if it was. You guys are good. You guys are good with the minutes from March 30th.
Yes,
Okay, so at this time, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes from the March 30th Board of Public Works meeting.
So moved.
Okay, second. All right,
second.
all in favor, Phil,
Yes,
Tom,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
Excellent.
Okay, so the minutes are approved, and we'll move on to the superintendent report.
Okay, I'll try to make it short and sweet. Staffing update. So we have hired 3 seasonal workers for summer help with the Parks Department. So that's some needed help, obviously, in the past year. We haven't had any, so it's a welcomed staff update, obviously, to help keep our parks and grass up to snuff. We've also had 2 resignations in the past 3 months, our town electrician and 1 skilled worker. We are currently interviewing candidates, and to fill these 2 positions, we believe we have one of the positions filled. We're just waiting for a start date with 1. And Mr. Dunn is actually in the process of finalizing the interviews for the electrician position. So things are going well on that front. Other than that, our FY22 operational budget and capital projects were approved by the town council on May 25th. The list of capital improvement projects that were approved are as follows. So under the general fund projects, we received our replacement of truck 3. That's for an F550 with a dump body for roughly $82,510. And our DPW sidewalk fund. So we put together a $75,000 request. The town council ended up in the financial oversight committee actually gave us $1.2 million to do sidewalks around town. So we're going to be following that in our master plan, our sidewalk master plan, once the money is bonded and get some much needed sidewalks in town get done. We also received $125,000 additional funding for road paving. Allen Street land acquisition received $30,000 for that in order for us to close that old dump facility on Allen Street. We received $82,500 for town-wide crack sealing of all our parking lots. We also received money to replace our truck number 47. That's a 2001. We're replacing that with a Ford Transit cargo van for $45,228. Under stormwater projects, we received the money for the new 2020, that big Vector truck that we're going to be splitting between stormwater and sewer. So that's going to be a great addition to our fleet. Obviously, it's an expensive piece of equipment, but I can actually tell you as of right now, our jet truck, our 1987 jet truck is actually down, and it's been down for a month. So it couldn't come at a better time. We're going to get it, piecemeal it back together, but we just got it in the nick of time. Sewer projects, we received $50,000, 936 for Vineland pump service repairs. And under our water projects, we received $658,499 for the Cooley and Avery Streets water replacement project, water main replacement project. Also under the water fund or the water enterprise fund, we received monies to replace our truck 11. It's a 2008 with a Ford F-350 for $67,866. Also, at the town council meeting on May 25th, the town council approved our rates and fees. And other than that, Bill, we did receive that DCR urban forestry grant to replace about 29 trees in town. More specifically, they're going to be mostly at the school department grounds and a few at our center field and Heritage Park facilities. So that's some much needed funding for that. And other than that, I can answer any questions you may have. Anything?
I'm all set. I don't know if Phil or Tom does.
No, I'm all set.
Okay, that's my report for this evening.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yep.
Okay, we'll move on to the deputy superintendent report. Tom.
Good evening. I guess I'll start off with a few updates. Our paving projects, the Dearborn Street and Gates Ave in the neighborhood north of Dearborn was completed about a month and a half ago by Palmer Paving. Right around, pretty much right on budget. I think we were over maybe 2 or 3%. We had to beef up some of the underlying pavement. Northeast is pretty close to finishing. They got some cleanup to do on Denslow and the 2 neighborhoods as well, Sturbridge and Woodbridge. MS4 update. They just finished all our outfall testing, so that was completed on time. We'll have all those results in the annual report in September. I got some decent news yesterday from one of our consultants about we're trying to apply for a tip project on North Main Street from Dearborn to just past Harkness, where the rail trail would eventually go, for approximately $6 million project, resurfacing the whole corridor, 4 signal reconstruction. Yeah, is there 4 signals? Yeah, Dearborn and then Harkness and Big Y and Stop and Shop. And a 10-foot shared use path right along the park that would end where its connection would be with the bike trail where they removed the bridge all those years ago. So that our district passed it on to Boston, and they'll be voting on that later this week to see. There's quite the timeline. That would be about 6 years out. So depending on how the money fell, and there are obviously a lot of moving parts, but once it becomes a viable project, then we got to kick into like say 25% design. We'll have to show our commitment before we get that kind of money to do a project that size. So, but that was exciting that at least it keeps marching up the city hall steps. So, that's pretty much what we've been doing and what we've been finishing. And we're still hopeful to do some paving work on Maple Street this summer and fall. We've got a few different scenarios and balls in the air with some sidewalk, curbing, and another Complete Streets grant for bike lanes on both sides of Maple, all the way to the Long Meadow Town Line, which has just the Sharrows, the sort of sharing the intersection until you get to Dwight and Converse, which have bike lanes already. So we're waiting to see if we get approved for that. That'll help out with some of the drainage structures, because those all need to be bicycle safe grates. So we'll get some money for those. So we're kind of waiting for a few things to fall, and then hopefully we can get to Maple before the year's out. That's about it.
Are there any sidewalk projects for this summer?
As of right now, we have a small section we want to fix on Maple before we pave, specifically the section right in front of center field. It's pretty bad. We also have some spots that are not ADA compliant with utility poles in the sidewalk, and some ramps that were probably put in before some of the new requirements and specifics were put in place. So we want to just bang out a bunch of that work before we get a paving contractor in here and figure that out. But as far as getting to our list, no, not at this time.
Yeah, Bill, just so you know, we only have roughly about $50,000 in our sidewalk fund that's been remaining for the last couple of years because we don't believe we got any sidewalk money last year. So we're trying to burn up that. There's actually 53,000 in it. Trying to use that up, obviously, per Tom's information he just gathered with you before we pave Maple Street. More specifically, because we don't want to pave it and then bring some contractors in, machinery and everything else. So, and we're going to try to get that done fairly quickly. So that's the plan anyways for right now.
Okay. Any questions, Phil or Tom?
No.
No questions.
Okay, on to the Water and Sewer Administrator Report. Felix,
Hey, good afternoon.
afternoon.
About a week ago, we started our Windover water main project. It's going really good. I'm thinking maybe another week and the main will be completely installed. Just a few services to do, some water testing and cleanup. That job will be finished. We had a bid opening on the 16th for our permanent wastewater flow monitoring project. No bids. We received none. So I'm hoping to rebid that in September with the hopes of getting a successful bidder in the spring. We had a, how can I put this? DEP is kind of telling us we have to bring our water use down. We're supposed to be at 65 gallons per person per day. We're at 95, roughly 95 gallons per person per day. That's a lot of water. Of course, COVID had a lot to do with it, everyone being home last year. It was a hot summer, but I'm pretty positive that most of it is due to everyone wanting a sprinkler system and wanting to have the greenest grass in the neighborhood. And people don't mind paying their water bill. You know, they want the green grass, but the DEP is kind of coming down hard on us with trying to get people to cut back. Somebody have to come up with some ways to have the taxpayer try and figure out how they can cut back on their water use.
You said that was the DEP that was wanting us to cut back?
Yes, sir.
What is their concern, I guess, behind it? Just water conservation?
Yes.
What does the city of Springfield say? What does the
They don't
city-
care. We buy the water from them. They want us to use as much as possible.
Is there any type
That's
of
always the
regulatory
Is that
things we
just,
have to be worried about?
is that just guidance
Not at this
from
time.
DEP? Is that just guidance or is there any issue? Any authority they really have over?
Well, they can make us do certain things. We're gonna have to do some leak detection testing. Got to hire a company to come in and look for possible leaks in town. We have to show them that we're doing our due diligence to try and lower the water use. We're kind of lucky up here in the Northeast. We're, you know, California and out west, their lakes are running dry. Out here, we got plenty of water for now. And I think they're thinking we don't want it to go away. So now's the time to start conserving.
Yeah, we put this in, so what triggered this whole thing was our sanitary survey. So every 3 years, they come in, inspect our stations and just an overall overview of the water department in its entirety. So part of that process is to look, make recommendations at our pump stations, look at our annual statistical report, and just make recommendations. So this isn't anything new that we're used to dealing with. And part of this, like Felix said, is just doing our due diligence. So part of that water conservation, we put in our consumer confidence report that you all received recently. So part of that is just, like I said, informing the residents what we're looking for. I mean, it's really out of our control, really. But like you said, it's just a recommendations. We're going to put our best foot forward. We've been struggling with our unaccounted water for a few years now since I've been the superintendent. So we're right at that precipice before they require you to do leak detection. So Felix has decided to move forward that. I think it's a good thing in order to get our unaccounted water down to a reasonable amount. So anyways, that's my 2 cents.
All right, thanks, Felix. Phil or Tom, you got anything else like to ask?
No, not at this moment.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thanks, Felix. All right, we have the building facilities manager report. So, Joe, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
What are you doing?
Good. So we got some projects going now to the summer. Well, school is ended today, so we've been working on Maple Shade, doing the steam pipe replacement they started on the 7th with limited access to the building. Starting tomorrow, we'll have full access to the building. So most of the existing pipe has been removed. So they're going to start installing tomorrow and they can get around a little more without the students and the faculty there. So that's all going pretty well. The Pine Knoll is all up and running. The pool's been full for probably 2 weeks and running. They have I guess they sold out up there in like a couple hours for the whole summer. So it's going to be a full, as many as they can get up there for most of the summer. So the pool's been up and running. The buildings are all set. We started working on the red schoolhouse. The siding's in pretty poor condition up there, the deck on it. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll be trying to do some repairs to the red schoolhouse to keep up on that. We're going to be building an enclosure at the fire station for the methane pump. The pump that extracts the methane from under the building. We're building a roof over that, going to pour a concrete pad on grade and just cover that to try to get some more life out of those pumps because they kind of go regularly. And it's got to run 24/7. So we have a water heater to replace the high school at the pool. There's an old water tank down there we're going to replace over the summer, hopefully. And then at the Council on Aging, the boiler there has 4 rusted sections on it. So that's going to be a pretty big job. I'm working with a company to do an energy assessment. So maybe we can get some money like in a rebate kind of form to replace it, if we can improve on it. But we had the 2 estimates I got so far were $23,000 and $30,000 to replace the sections on the boiler. So they're a pretty big job. And we're starting all our PMs at the schools now. The air conditioner cleaners and start with all our PMs we do for the year. And that's about it, I think. Just regular business, I guess. Just did some carpet at the police station. The day room they have there the carpet was all beat up. So we did some carpet there. That's about it.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Phil or Tom, you got any questions?
Quick one, Joe.
Sure.
Are the tents staying around the elementary schools?
Excuse me?
Are the tents staying up around the elementary schools?
The fence?
The tents.
Oh, no, they're all gone.
Oh, they are gone.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I did notice till the custodian told me today. Because one of the custodians was supposed to bring a bunch of tables out for the teachers to have lunch. And I said, you still got to move the tables? He goes, where? I said, I looked over and they're gone. At Maple Shade, they were gone.
Okay,
Yeah, the blocks are still there, but the tents are actually gone. I thought it was a longer term deal than it was.
that's what I thought too. but-
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it.
Anything else, Phil?
well, that's
Nothing.
it.
All right,
Sorry,
Tom, you're
Phil.
all set? Okay,
Good.
all right, and we have the highway and utility manager report. Errol.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
Basically, I'll start with the Parks Department. They're basically continuing with our mowing schedule as always. In between trying to make sure all our athletic fields are taken care of as well. Maintaining the ball diamonds and grooming them. I would have to say that the Parks Department has done a phenomenal job this year. Our baseball diamonds, in my eyes, look the best they've looked in many years. And I think that has part to do with our fertilizer program, which we've applied step 1 and 2 so far this year. And some of the equipment that the rec department actually purchased a ball diamond machine for us 2 years ago now, and it's made a world of difference on keeping those fields in the condition they need to be in. And the school department and the rec department have been helping out with some of the clay conditioners and stuff that help them fields. Are we where we want to be? Not really, but we're getting there, and we're going in the right direction. Between the highway part and the parks department, we're prepping for our 4th of July festivities in town. We all know how extensive time that takes for us between signs, snow fence, getting ready for fireworks, and all that type of stuff, hanging flags, and just prepping and cleaning the parade route and getting that stuff and scheduling the sweep, people to come in and help out in the day of the parade. As far as the highway department, we've been picking away at our paving work orders. We've been doing whatever water work that Felix has the guys doing, and we're going back and touching up any paving we need to do with water breaks or catch basin repairs, manhole repairs, and that kind of stuff. We've also been helping out Joe with the Maple Shade steam pipe project. The trenches over there, we've dug those for the contractor, and we actually will be doing 2 more trenches tomorrow. And this time of year comes along, we started doing a lot of brush work, cutting around guardrails, anywhere hard spots to see to cut out of streets and side streets and stuff like that. So we've been picking away at that kind of stuff. As far as the water side of it, as Felix had mentioned, they started on the Wendover water main. We got a crew over there. They're doing a great job, and we've got a lot of new employees on that learning, which has been very good for us. Kind of making our department a little bit more diverse to help out. As well as that, as Felix mentions the water usage. We got all the town irrigation up and running to keep the fields and athletic fields in the condition that people expect them to be in. The guys still water department and still doing meter reading, markouts, water and sewer markouts, and fiber markouts. And as Bruce had mentioned earlier, our jet truck has been down. We are close to be having that up and running. And then once that's up and running again, it'll kind of take a little weight off our shoulders and not have that panic moment when we get a sewer call. Stormwater, as Tom had mentioned, they did their outfall testing. They finished that. They've also been helping out with some of the markouts while the guys are doing the water main project. So, and they've also been doing a lot of cammering, and Felix has a manhole sealing project going on right now that gentleman has been helping out with. As far as that, we've been pretty much business as usual. We picked off all our plow damage and berm repairs right quick in the spring once the plant's opened, and we're trying to just keep our head afloat and keep going the way we are and try to get things done.
Okay, thanks, Daryl. Any questions, Phil or Tom?
I'm all set, Bill.
No, good report.
Great, thanks, Daryl.
you.
All right, any other business?
Under other business, I do have just a couple items for the board. Just remember, if you haven't returned your appointment certification to the town manager's office, please do so at your earliest convenience. Some other things to think about for our next meeting. The governor extended the Zoom meeting or remote meeting access till April 1st of 2022. And then at our next meeting, our board will have to do a reorganization, so keep that in the back of your head for the next meeting.
Is that guidance, Bruce, or is that?
No, that's guidance. If the board feels like they would like to continue doing Zoom meetings, you can do so until April 1st of 2022.
What are most other committees or boards doing?
I think a lot of,
What's the town manager's recommendation?
she doesn't have one. It's up to the boards and committees. I know
So we could have our
it's
meeting.
lifted, so this just came out and the state of emergency just lifted. So at this point in time, what has happened actually right after the state of emergencies was lifted, they had a council meeting and I believe a planning board meeting. So what they ended up doing is having the town council meet at LCAP, but didn't take any visitors in the audience in person. They still did the Zoom meeting, just I think out of certain precautions from certain council members. They met in person, the council themselves, but had other people, participants, remote in. So, but it's just something to think about moving forward. I didn't plan, so I'm kind of going into the next item for scheduling our next meeting. I was thinking unless something changes or something comes up in emergency fashion, is not to meet again until September. Just because we're going to start fresh with our capital planning process and wanted to meet with the board before we proceed with that as well. So, so I'm not sure what your guys' feeling about that is.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, so-
Okay. And
Fine
if
with
you
me.
want, you guys can think about or see how you feel. We can bring up this remote access to meetings. And I can, like you said, when we get close to September's, I'll throw out an email to all the board members and get your feelings on if you want to do Zoom meetings or in person. So we can wait till then. Just keep that in the back of your mind moving forward. And we're going to need to reorganize the board at our next meeting as well.
Personally, I'm in favor of in-person meetings.
What's the reorganization going to entail, Bruce?
If you guys can keep it the same, or like I said, it's just switching positions. It's however you guys feel you want to proceed.
Okay.
So, and you could say exactly the way it is. It really doesn't matter. So I just want you guys to think about it. If you've had enough of being chair, you can give your hat to somebody else. That's all. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Any other business?
I have nothing else to share with the board this evening. I think we're good to go.
Super. And we'll just schedule next meeting by email once we
Yep.
figure out a date. And I guess with that, we'll I'll hear a motion to close the June 21st Board of Public Works meeting.
I'll make that motion. First, I'd like to say the department sounds like it's running good and due in large part to the good leadership. Thanks. Keep up the good work, boys.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Second that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say the same thing as Tom did. I think the department's doing very well, considering the circumstances of the past year and supporting the schools and activities that were thrown upon you and the other issues that are happening around town. So
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
And I would second the Tom make a motion
Yes.
to.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Okay, all right, all in favor of ending the meeting? Tom,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and I'm an aye.
Excellent.
Okay,
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
gentlemen.
All right.
Evening.
talk to you guys soon. Great job. See you.
Bye-bye.